I did say it would be fast and furious. I didn't think the Rams would do 2 moves today, but during the legal tampering period, the Rams have agreed to terms with Colby Parkinson, a guy that I had mentioned in not just 1, but 2 videos. We talked about him in my 25 underrated, and we talked about him, of course, in the top 30 offensive players. I like this fit for the Rams, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have talked about him twice. This is somebody I liked coming out of Stanford. The year he came out, we actually interviewed him. I guess I'll repost that Downtown Rams interview Alexis Kraft and I did with him back then. But Parkinson, look, he's getting a 3-year deal worth up to $22 million. I understand some people are like, where did this guy come from? Why? If you haven't seen my videos, then you're probably saying that. If you have, then you understand why. He was 18th out of 30 on my offensive big board. And when I look at, Colby Parkinson, this is somebody who's only 25 years old. He was the 10th rated blocking tight end, according to PFF. Obviously, the Rams love that. He was barely utilized in his 4 years in Seattle. And I think, sadly, the last 2 years, the most he's been utilized, he barely hit 600 yards and was just under 60 receptions, not to mention only 4 touchdowns. So when I look at him, he's got a rare blend of size and athleticism. He can go up with that 6'7" frame and high point the football. And I think really what you're looking at with Colby Parkinson, if you didn't see the Seahawks-Titans game, he caught the game-winning touchdown in the end zone in that one earlier in the year or later in the year. Parkinson is somebody that can really grow with Davis Allen. Allen is obviously, younger. But Parkinson's 25, and I think those two both will complement each other well. You have to understand something here. They love Tyler Higbee, and they signed him for a reason, but he was banged up all season long, wasn't really able to get into the flow of things, and then finally when things started to look better for him, he tore his ACL, obviously on a dirty hit in the playoff game. So they're not going to have him. I think this does mean they're going to cut Hunter Long and take, an additional $1 million added to the cap. If not, then you have a third tight end there. But I like this move because this is somebody, yes, you're paying for the potential. And some people will look at this and say, this is kind of a Jared Cook signing. But the thing with Parkinson that I really like, first off, Shane Waldron was in that offense last year. Sean McVay still talks to Shane Waldron. They still have communication. He was part of his coaching staff. They are friendly. I believe they are friends. So I'm sure that there was some vetting going on. I'm sure that Sean McVay reached out, asked him about this. I'm sure other people asked Seattle about Parkinson. You also have, Greg Olsen, who was with the Rams coaching staff. He was also over there, as well as Andy Dickerson. You have 3 guys who were with the Rams that could offer their advice and give any sort of idea on what they thought about Colby Parkinson. But obviously, first off, he went to Stanford, very smart. Second, he's a 6'7" tight end. Third, he can block and catch. And the thing is, his receiving ability is so vastly underrated because they had Noah Fant, they had Will Dissly, they had him, they had Gerald Everett. He's never gotten a chance to be the guy. And I think in this offense, he doesn't have to be the guy, but I think he is going to be utilized a lot. And I think a big thing that having a guy like John Stretch, being that game manager who's going to be there at Sean McVay's hip, I think when they're looking in the red zone, what should they do? Throw it up to Parkinson. I think this is somebody that can box out defenders, wasn't utilized nearly enough, but he's got those above the rim qualities you look for in a tight end. So I understand, obviously, I had a higher rated tight end on my board in Noah Fant from that team, and I think he's going to go somewhere and be excellent. I was very high on Hunter Henry, but there's a reason why I predicted Hunter Henry. I liked the fit. I liked the familiarity factor with Nick Caley. But I kept telling you guys, I really feel like they are going to look at tight end and address this position. And Parkinson does that. Again, a blocking tight end and a very good one at that. But then you look at his untapped potential in the receiving game and the fact that Sean McVay is a former tight ends coach to begin with. Nick Caley did a great job and was well wanted by the Patriots to be the offensive coordinator. He turned that down. I think Parkinson is in a situation and an environment where he can absolutely flourish and become a potential star tight end. You don't always see it coming, but when it does, it is fascinating. And we've seen guys like George Kittle drafted in the 5th round, wasn't amazing his first year. I was very high on him, of course, my number 1 tight end in the draft. But the point is, George Kittle, 5th round tight end, not everyone was suspecting him to become one of the best in the league, and he did. And sometimes it's about fit. And Seattle has been a tight end purgatory. We've seen guys do things, obviously we talked about it. I mean, Noah Fant had his moments, and then you had Gerald Everett there for a year and a cup of coffee. And you had Will Dissly, who I mentioned also in that video, where, look, one of the better blocking tight ends in all of football and hasn't been utilized in the receiving game. I think Seattle was sitting on a tight end gold mine with Parkinson, Fant, and Will Dissly, and I think whoever gets Dissly and uses him correctly and Fant is going to get something good. But I think Parkinson fits the Rams so well that this move, being that it's a 3-year deal, just like Jonah Jackson, just further shows that they have a plan. They are resetting the thing. But this guy being a part, getting a 3-year deal and being a part of this shows he is here for the Matthew Stafford run. Okay, the Rams' window to win a Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford is relatively thin. But with a guy like Colby Parkinson, Jonah Jackson, you could bet your ass that these guys are going to be a part of that run, and that is why they signed 3-year deals, as well as Kevin Dotson. They know what they're doing. Colby Parkinson is going to be somebody to watch. I'm telling you that right now. So take all your stock, put all your stock on him. You're a fantasy football player, definitely going to want to pick up Colby Parkinson. He is going to have a very good year, I think, for the Rams, and a very good few years. Again, only 25 years old. So this 3-year deal puts him at what, 28, 29 years old, depending. You still have Davis Allen, who won't even be 26 at the end of Parkinson's deal, and you can still bring Davis Allen back after his contract. The Rams have set themselves up in a way where if this works out like I believe it's going to, they have really settled this tight end position, and they're going to start to see some production very similar to the production we saw with a fully healthy Tyler Higbee, and maybe even more. But what are your guys' thoughts? I know there's going to be pushback. He's not a huge name. He's not a Pro Bowler like Jonah Jackson, but I'm telling you, they're getting this guy. They're buying his stock before it absolutely pops. And I think in an offense with Sean McVay, Kyron Williams, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Demarcus Robinson, potentially Tutu Atwell, the offensive line as good as it looks right now, I think stock is way up for Colby Parkinson. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think below. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.